Today, we're watching Marvin Harrison Jr., the number 4 overall pick, the first receiver taken off the board in 2024. Marvin Harrison Jr. made his NFL debut on Sunday against the Bills. Harrison was generally quiet. Marvin ran 33 routes, which led the team, but he only saw 3 targets and totaled 1 catch for 4 yards. Let's see why Marv was overshadowed production-wise when he was on the field more than any other receiver. First play we'll take a look at, you'll see Marvin Harrison Jr. lined up out wide, and you'll just be seeing a simple slant route, but right here the DB's lined up inside and he's trying to work through the DB standing in front of him. He ends up just kind of struggling. Most of the time it'd be a little bit more polished, especially in college. You'd see him maybe an outside release shuffle like back in or something. He was really good, especially getting cross leverage, but with the DB right there in his lap, just seemed to struggle a little bit more. As I'll pause it here, with the DB having and holding a wide base, he's still covering the area that Marvin Harrison is trying to drive through. So he just kind of struggled a little bit early on here, and he's just seeing what works and doesn't work. The very next play, once again lined up outside working, and the DB's playing with some inside leverage. And to start this rep here at the top, you're going to see him try to eat up and basically just close in and then release. Pretty much that's what he's trying to do, trying to get in and then shuffle out. So once he's on the break, ball's coming up now from Kyler Murray, so throw, you got to think basically on the way, and so he's going to try to stay off the sideline, but it's hard when this guy's playing great with inside leverage on Marvin Harrison Jr. He works upfield, gets his eyes around a little late, but he does a good job in general getting his eyes around, and just a little bit of a disconnect because this ball is going to come up short. You're going to see it attempting the back shoulder, but it's just going to go out of bounds, incomplete. This next play here, you'll see it is 3rd and 12. Marvin Harrison now lined up at the bottom of your screen, and this is something that will show throughout the video pretty much, but you'll see him, watch him run this right here. He's just running basically free. He's going to have his way up the field, but watch his eyes. They're literally pointed down. He's just focused on his route and what in the world he's doing. So when he's running here, look, I mean, he's still just eyes gandering off. There's times where, you know, you might want to see this open space over here, or if you're looking back, you know what quarterback, what your situation is, so you might want to, you know, adjust your route to that and maybe branch off, go across. So he's just keeping his eyes down a little low. I don't know what he's being taught exactly, but you'll see him turn around at final seconds when, you know, he's breaking through. So right here, this guy's inside. Right here, this guy's planted, and this guy is how far away? Typically, you see guys with eyes around, but he's going to keep going with his eyes down, and then when it's time, he's going to turn, curl, and run and finish through that route. But he's super focused on what he's doing, and he's more individually, you know, alone and kind of not unaware, but again, just dropping his eyes. Another 3rd down, same drive, except it's 3rd and 5, ball on the 5. A lot of 5s coming up. I like Harrison Jr. certain situations, especially right here in the slot. He's lined up and he has, I mean, it looks like same leverage. He might even have the inside here, but that mostly means zone. And look where the eyes are if they're on the quarterback. Once again, mostly means zone coverage. And then you'll have, oh, might be man. Nope, still zone coverage. But right here, what do you expect him to be running? Probably an out, right? Especially when you see this guy looping back inside. So what does he do? He runs, oh, but he's gonna run right back to the middle. I don't think I've ever seen this route in my life, where he's going to clear this guy, come back around and like hook back. I've never seen this. I don't even know if this is a route, but I mean, it is for Marvin Harrison. Apparently this is in their red zone draw up right here, and maybe the fact, or not the fact, but the way that you want to run this is just to get here. I mean, especially with this guy biting down, it would work well. He just rounds the crap out of it. I mean, it's such a rounded route. You'll see him, he's not very square edged and sprinting. He's more of like a kind of leaning into it instead of like just straight up branching and then darting towards the middle, or really, you know, executing a cut. So he just kind of trips out the back of the end zone. Marv just pretty much blanketed the whole time, and most of it had to do with the rounded route. I mean, watch him right here. He's got an opportunity, especially if you just plant, and then this guy's gonna bite down because you got the underneath stuff going on elsewhere. and this route just kind of just rounded. Once again, don't know what he's being taught. Also, another thing to look at, just one tiny thing I'll bring up before we switch plays. When you're running upfield like this, instead of just in, you'll see this guy right here be able to undercut. He will have an angle to undercut that route because he's still running upward. So the passing lane still comes through here, and that gives the guy a chance. So once Marvin Harrison Jr. just kind of is up here and say the ball's right here, look at Taylor Rapp. He has that passing lane covered. He has this whole area, whatever you want to say. So just another thing, I don't know again what he's being taught, but a little bit weird. Right here on this play, you have Marvin Harrison Jr. lined up inside, but still off like the line of scrimmage and stuff. I guess it's still called the slot, but you'll still see him keeping his eyes down. Watch him through this play, and once he gets right here, once he's making his little break, I can't remember if he's running a dig or a curl, but when you're watching this, I mean, this guy's here, this guy's running upfield, you have all of that room. And we'll just rewind it to the back here, but watch how long it takes for him to pick his eyes up here. He's going to be going, and it's right here he's starting to turn his head. Once he's already into this open space, and he has this room to run basically, and what he's going to do is just going to step down. But did you see that he continues fading inside, kind of bringing this guy back into the play? If he had his eyes up earlier right here, when he's seeing all this and he has this guy biting down, he could just stop and get in position for his quarterback, but instead he's going to keep just fading along. This guy breaks, turns back around, and gets back into it. So again, just a little bit of a disconnect, and maybe his eyes are down a little too long, a little unaware of the play at hand and just adjusting in certain situations. You see this with like Kelsey and Mahomes. I know that's such a highly touted connection, I guess, in the league, but to the point where you just sit down and then you know your quarterback knows you're going to do that. It's just going to happen. You guys are on the same wavelength, but it just doesn't end up happening. Still a good yardage on the play, but right there, if he throttles down, turns around, that's a wide open option for Kyler Murray. Marvin Harrison Jr., top of your screen right here on top of the numbers, and you'll see him running a curl route into open space. Eyes are down, of course. Why wouldn't they be? He's got this guy running outside with, I believe that is Greg Dortch, Dorian Williams, kind of just doing whatever he wants to do over the under middle area. And so he's going to make his break. He's turning around right here with all of the room in the world. He's being carried, and he's just biting down lower. So what did you have? You have this much open space and a little even more to this side. Kyler sees it. You see him looking in that direction. He's going to let it go with a nice clean passing lane. Might maybe even use some touch over into there. It's just really simple. It's going well. Drop. You'll see Kyler, a little play action, look back, make sure he's got alternatives, and like, okay, if he's playing that far off, then I got Marv for sure. And Marv lets him down. The very next play, Marvin lined up in the slot. This is where he gets his one catch. He's just going to do a simple little sit down on a nice little hitch. He's just going to quite literally do that. But there are some little nuances that we'll break down with this. It's a quick and easy play. Off the snap, you're going to have this guy obviously running up. That gives most likely the vertical release there, meaning he's not really going to be crashing down. He's a little bit further off, and he's to this side of you. So what does Marvin Harrison Jr. do once he sits down? He's going to sit down, but he's also going to be fading while the ball is in the air. It's nuance. It's a little thing like this. So you'll see him, he'll keep just backing up. He already's in the midst of it, but he's just going to keep going back to make more space before he closes in, and he knows he's got a blocker, and this guy was pretty far off, right? So he's doing all this with presence in mind, and has a nice quick play again. Not the hardest play, but he makes the best of it, and the most of it, I should say. Marvin Harrison Jr. lined up out wide. He's got Rasul Douglas in coverage. I want you to watch how dull this is. He's run multiple double moves, all to success in college, man. This guy was a beast, and it looked better than this. This is a double move to him. He's going to get eyes. He's going to chop. He's going to like throttle down for even a millisecond and try to get up out of there and think that that's going to work. That is one of the worst double moves I've ever seen him take, where he trembles down, and then the little head shake there's fine, but it's just not really gonna work for him. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little bit different. I've seen him run better double moves, and I think he's got better in him, but I mean, look at his leverage. All of it is still pointed that way, and this is an experienced NFL veteran watching it happen. All right, like, you're not gonna be able to sell that. and so he just gets up out of there. I don't know what his route or his assignment was on this play. It could have been just a vertical 9 route that he's trying to give a little bit of incentive to sell here for this guy to bite down just the slightest, to try to work outside. I don't know what he's doing, but I've seen him sell and run routes better than that. Real spread out formation here by the Cardinals, but Marvin Harrison Jr. working at the bottom of your screen. He'll be just running a dig route over the middle of the field, and he will actually get open. You see DeMar Hamlin in disguise. He's all the way down there, and he's going to drop back, and so he's going to have an open middle of the field to work with without safety help underneath. This looks like Von Miller. I'm not quite sure if that's who it is, but I mean, that's quite the exploit in coverage. If you get an edge rusher and he's still playing super far up, Rasul Douglas is responsible for over here, and so you have this dig just working right now. But unfortunately, ball's already out. You see it's over here. It's on its way. I believe it's actually to Greg Dortch, and it just ends up being missed. He wasn't the first read on the play, and the first read got open. As you're seeing, he never really made this for himself. It's just him working into open space and just wasn't quite on the progression. Marvin Harrison Jr., top of your screen, lined up out wide, and he's going to get up. He's going to have to eat so much cushion here. You see Rasul Douglas just that far up the field. He's going to have to eat so much up, and so when he gets to the top of the route here, he's going to have impact. Rasul Douglas plays it correctly, puts his leverage into Marvin Harrison Jr.'s lap pretty much, and then breaks out of the route and trips. I don't know if you guys caught it, but you'll see it up here in the top right of the screen here. You're seeing him. That's his first impact. You see how close their helmets are right up there, but you'll see him kind of come in or trying to come through here. Ends up stumbling on the ground. Poor route physicality. I want him to fight back. I want him to use his massive frame. We all know how big. I mean, look at this size advantage. His head's up here, Rasul's is down there. He's huge. I need him to use his weight, his size, his frame, everything. Physicality wise, I'd like to see him fight through a little bit more, or even his savviness to sell an outside here at the top of this route. I've even seen him, you know, go whoop with one leg and then pivot back this way. And even if he wants to stay on course, he can kind of just like go up and then slant from there. I mean, it is great play by Rasul Douglas, former Packer, by the way, to just chomp down and get in his way in the first place. Let's get to a play with a little bit more action. You're going to have Marvin Harrison Jr. at the bottom of your screen, and he's going to be doing what he's been doing all game long, and he's going to be running an intermediate curl, and it's just going to be a missed check down batted at the line. But once again, we'll talk about his eyes being down. Once he clears DeMar Hamlin, you see him, he's kind of working back up this way or whatever. And he's got Dorian playing low. He's got this guy. I mean, he's basically out of the equation. And then number 9, top of the screen there. So we're basically worrying about Rasul Douglas, who's up here, and he's just playing entirely upfield leverage. So when he's making his little curl in or whatever, I mean, first of all, look around. Take your eyes and look at the freaking quarterback, first of all. But it takes him to about here to do it, when he could have, you know, settled and then like worked further in. And Kyler is actually looking that way. He's the first read. Marvin Harrison Jr. is read numero uno. And by the time Kyler's getting eyes on Marvin, he is just too slow. And I think personally, Dorian just gets a little too much depth to try to fit this in. So this is a good play by Dorian Williams. Watch out for him, by the way. He's pretty good. I liked him coming out of Tulane. Then you'll just see Kyler Murray move on and try to find his check down, and just clicked off of Marvin Harrison Jr. And we'll just watch this from Kyler Murray here. I mean, he's looking, and then no. I mean, he's just going right to James Conner. Obviously, he thinks he has something. If he pays that much attention to it, eventually moves on to James Conner and gets knocked down at the line. This is the play that went kind of crazy. It is 1st and 10, but it is quarter 4 with 1:19 left, and they are down by 6 points. Real spread look by the Cardinals, but Marvin Harrison Jr. is down here at the bottom of your screen. And I just want to watch this real quick and show you what happens here. So look at Kyler Murray. He has number 4 wide open. Rasul Douglas has eyes on it, and he's getting ready to go. This is a pump fake. I'll just spoil that right now. This is a pump fake. And so what does that do? That gets Rasul Douglas to bite down, thinking that, yeah, he's 100% throwing this. So the aggressiveness of Rasul Douglas really screws him. And then you've got DeMar Hamlin playing, I don't know if it's quarters or whatever, but he's playing hashes here. He might be out of place. I have actually no clue. But then you'll see that opens up Marvin Harrison Jr. He's just going to be running wide. You'll see it at the bottom of your screen, running out. And I mean, just look at how open that is. But Kyler's off here doing his own little thing. I mean, he's been dancing a little bit all game, and so you'll just see him doing what he does, and then just missed opportunity overall, I'm just gonna say, and got to it a little too late. But hey, still got a catch to Greg Dortch. I think what surprises me most on this play is we'll watch Kyler Murray's eyes. So look at where they are, especially when he's making that, but look at how quick he switches off of it. I mean, I'm not saying that's like his fault. Obviously he doesn't know that Rasul Douglas is gonna bite, and so, oh man, he's just gonna whip his freaking head around. He's like, nope, done over there. I have nothing over there left. And then just skirt. I'm going to look to make a play. I'm really twitchy. I'm really runny. And I'm going to try to make something happen. And he did. Good for him, but missed Marvin Harrison Jr. Overall, I'm not seeing the confidence that Marvin had in college, where he knew he could be and dismantle anyone that lined up across from him. There's small things here and there that I'm seeing from Marvin. For example, the releases are so simple, and I just didn't see him selling the routes that he's running. I feel like Marvin Harrison Jr. in college looked better in almost every way than I just watched. With more time in the league, more snaps with Kyler, everything, Marvel get better and keep working to establish that connection and continue to get better. Anyways, that'll be it for me. Thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like, and subscribe, watch the past content on the channel. See you guys next time. Dudes.